Hi, this is Stefan with Spintip, and I would like to talk to you about grips. Have you ever thought that although there are many players who are unique in their own right, there have been only a handful of grips that have been taught? Right? There is a continental or a semi-western or western grips, but do you think that only those 5 or 6 grips are going to fit your needs? Your game is unique and the way that you produce strokes is unique, and I want to teach you today the basic principles of how to find your personal grip for each and every shot. First and foremost, you need to understand that the purpose of the grip is to point the strings at the intended target at the contact point. If you don't know where your contact point is, you can easily find it. Imagine that there is a plane coming straight out of your chest, right in the middle where your hands are meeting. This is where you're comfortable, you're not stretched out neither right nor left. So if there is an invisible plane stretching out of the middle of your chest, that's the contact plane, or the sum of all good contact points in which the strings are pointing at the target, in this case straight ahead. So once you know where the contact plane is, you can find the grip for each and every shot, because that's going to be a point on that plane. If I want to hit forehands, right, I need to place the racket somewhere on this plane. You will ask me where. And where depends on two things. Movement, meaning how do I adjust to the ball, how do I set up my feet, what distance do I have between me and the ball, and how high the ball is from the ground. So if I grew up on grass, usually the ball bounces are low, right? I would place my racket really low in that contact plane, and if I shake hands with my racket, that's going to result into a continental grip. If I grew up on hard courts, the bounces are going to be a little higher, so I'm going to place the racket a little higher in that contact plane, and if I shake hands with the racket, it's going to create a slightly more angled grip, in this case something like a semi-western grip. Or if I grew up on clay and the ball was bouncing really high, sometimes close to my shoulder, if I place the racket around the shoulder height in my contact plane and I shake hands with that racket, you would see that that grip results into almost a western grip. And everything in between is a valid grip because the strings pointed at the target. Another thing that you need to consider is that being in the contact plane, the racket in the contact plane is fine, but also it determines how far away the racket should be or is when you're hitting shots. For example, if I have my racket around my belly button height and I stretch out, that's going to create a semi-western grip. But if the racket is really close to me, it's going to create more of a western grip. So in summary, if you want to find the grip, or the principles of finding the grip is finding the contact point that you're going to hit the shots from. And you can use that contact point, place the racket there, and then simply shake hands with the racket. For example, if I were hitting my forehands, I usually hit the ball around the waist height. I'm going to reach out. I like to stretch out my arm. So I'm going to reach out, shake hands, and my grip is semi-eastern, right? I hit one-handed backhands, so my contact point is slightly shifted forward. So this is my contact plane, but now I have only my dominant hand, so I shift it out. I place it around my hips again, and that will be my personal one-handed backhand grip. I think it's semi-eastern or something in between. It's not perfectly on one of the predetermined grips. You can do that even for serves. For serves, you just reach up as high as you can. So reach up, place the racket in your hand somehow, right? And make sure that then you turn the racket so it points at the target. So that is the principle. The principle is simple. Find the contact point, place the racket face there, make sure the strings are pointing at the intended target, and shake hands with the racket. Should you have more specific questions or specific strokes that you need more explanation about, send us an email at learn@spintip.com or visit us at www.spintip.com, and we'll be happy to do a detailed and personalized lesson for you. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope to hear from you. Bye bye.